Guys, welcome back to another A30 RPG video. Today we'll be trying a new one-shot. I want to experiment with a laser and feelings hack I found called CYBERPUNK. This one's obviously set in the future, and much like the lasers and feelings one-page RPG, this one has a similar format, so it's tailored for cyberpunk. So same character creation process, but new values, same crew situation, same method of rolling the dice. If you roll under, you're using cyber. If you roll over, you're using punk. It says a higher number means you're cyber, tech, science, logic, precision. A low number means you're punk, intuition, improvisation, street smarts, reckless. So then you can, the GM, which is essentially us, we create the mission. So I've already created 4 characters on here. The characters are Ty. His number is 2, so he's very much so uh, punk. Now, he's naive, he's a former ganger, currently a gung fu master. He's a robotic arm, wrist rockets, titanium knuckles, comm device, and a slick outfit. Then there's Kriya. Uh, her number is 4. She's more cyber. She's unhinged, a former soldier, infiltrator, netbring interface, sonic blaster, katana, comm device, war-torn uniform. Then there's Frey. His number is 5. He's very much punk. He's savvy, former corp, hacker, bionic eyes, gravity hands, zip shocker, comm device, and a suit, clean press suit. Then there's Jinx. He's in the middle of 3. Grizzled, former cop, driver pilot, sonic hearing, machine gun, submachine gun, pistol, comm device, worn cop uniform. So that's the crew we have. Let me clarify my genders here before I forget. So we have a male here, female, and then male. Okay, there we go. Their numbers are sharpie so I can see them clear. And the team, the situation that we're in, is that from what I rolled, your crew has military grade armor, which makes sense because former, let's see, former soldier, perhaps some resources were extended. And someone is on the inside, which also makes sense because we have an infiltrator. We have a spy right here. Kriya is on the inside. But then there's the disadvantage. But they are new at this. So this is our first. This will be our first job. So the mission is, as these are very much a vague start. The mission, which I wanted to include you guys on, is going to be the following. So let's roll for. The team has been contacted by 2. So team has been contacted. 2. Let's roll d6. 3. To protect. Protect. A. Another d6. Let's roll again. There we go. Okay, I keep getting 3, so we'll go with 3. A cybernetic enhanced kid. Enhanced. Oops. Enhanced kid. Let's see. Held by. So the star will be start. Okay. Nope. Gonna roll again. 5. The mob, Yakuza, Triad. So I want to get something out there. I'm not very familiar with the Cyberpunk lore. Just love the concept and then the stylization of the game and of the that one show recently. What it's called, like The Runners, I think. I forgot what it's called, but it was a short show based on the game. But I love the feel, near future of Cyberpunk, and I'm also a fan of Blade Runner. So I'm gonna try to blend them together. The real challenge is I'm going to use a table. The challenge I'm opposing myself today to strengthen my skills in this is using a table for fantasy. So, and this is by far my favorite table, by the way. Um, this is the Juice table, Juice Oracle. So that'll be a real challenge. I'll have to translate a lot of the roles we do, especially items. So five, let's see, being held by the mob. So I'm kind of familiar. I've seen clips of Let's Plays of Cyberpunk, so I'm familiar with the triads. Let's just go with that. Mob triads. So at least I can kind of work off the basics. And then, but, there's a button there. But, I rolled a 1, so for one of you it's personal. Interesting. For one of you, it's personal. Well, maybe it's just one of the character's son. One of their own sons. I think it's going to be one of these characters' sons. And let's roll a d4 to see which character. I'm kind of leaning towards Jinx because he's probably because he's grizzled, I'm thinking he's the oldest of the group. But let me grab a d4 and roll that to see which character it's son. 1. It's Ty. So it's Ty's son. Ty's son. Okay, so Ty's son. Okay. That's good to know. So Ty's son. So kidnapped. Maybe experimented on. That's a good basic start, I think. Now, it says that we can be approached by someone about this. So on the other side is a set the scene where our characters can be. So let's do that. Let's set the first scene. That's the current situation. Now the question is, who is currently infiltrating? I'm probably not the role for that. We can say that who is our infiltrator? Priya is Prey or Priya is. So Priya is undercover for whoever is holding for the friend hostage. So friend son hostage. I'm thinking that they're all friends from school, perhaps, or through maybe they're all cracked now. We'll see. Maybe Ty is. We'll figure it out. Let's roll for it. So maybe it's not Ty's son. We can probably scratch that out. Let's first roll to set the scene. So, all right. First is location. 5. Neon lit nightclub. That makes sense. So, location, nightclub. And then NPCs. Maybe, perhaps. Oh, these are just tables for just random things. Okay, that works. Now, we've been contracted by who, though? That's the question. All right, so here's the current situation. Let's review. We're in the nightclub. There's 3 of us, so currently it's I'm thinking that we are somewhat into this mission already, into this job, and perhaps Ty has contacted a friend an old friend. I'm thinking a Ty. Ty was an informant, was a snitch. Ty was a snitch slash informant for uh, Jinx, which makes a good connection happen here. Now, because of that, Ty was a former ganger, so he lived in the slums. He had a pretty rough life. I think because of that, his son perhaps was lost, got kidnapped, and he needs help to find his son. So he contacted Jinx, perhaps. Jinx is retired, former cop. Jinx is probably 50 or 60 plus. Ty is probably in his 40s or so, 30s perhaps. His son is 8, 10 years old. Now, Ty's son was kidnapped. Okay. Um, Ty has done many favors to help uh, Jinx on several murder cases, perhaps. I'll just say cases. So he was definitely a resource, a street source for Jinx. That's better. And because of that, Ty contacted Jinx, met at the club. I'd say that Jinx brought Jinx did some digging, did some research ahead of time. Jinx did some research and found some details, perhaps, about the whereabouts of Ty's son. So, okay, good. I like how this is going. Now, he brought Jinx invited. Who's our remaining character who's not currently in the cover? Frey. Um, invited Frey for help, for information slash help. Frey perhaps used to work for the Triads, former corp. Now this is where my knowledge kind of falls. Um, the Triads are a gang, but from what I saw in the footage, anybody that out there who's corrected me, feel free to correct me. I'm just kind of creating my own lore at this point, just kind of taking bits and pieces I know from Cyberpunk 2077 and just morphing into my own. So I'm thinking that Triad is a corporation of sorts, a very organized crime, and uh, Frey used to work for the Triads. So I'm going to make that note here. Triads. He defected or something like that. Frey used to work for the Triads. The Triad Corp. Triads Corp. And he did some. Frey is very savvy. That works out perfectly and completely accidental. Um, Frey hacked Triads database. Learned of Ty's son's location. So all he could find was that the triads have Ty's son. Let's get this. Let's give him a name because I'm getting tired of just writing Ty's son. Um, let's see. I have a name generator here. There it is. I'm gonna roll a d10 and it appears, and that d10 will give us a name to work off. Where is my d10 at? There it is. Okay, so first part of the name is zero va. Okay, va humbug. Va. The second part of the name is actually Vazen is a pretty good name. I like that. If I don't like this next one, I'll just choose the original. Vakel. Vakel. I like that. Vakel. Capital E-L. V-A-K-E-L. Vakel. So let's write that on the back here. Um, son. Ty's son is Vakel. Let's say he's 12 years old. Okay. We'll keep that here. That's essentially our character sheet. Triads have Ty's son, Vakel, held, not hostage, but just held. That's all he knows is that if for some reason they have his name dinged on his system, his hack, and Vakel is the name of Ty's son. So Ty is completely flabbergasted at this, and wants revenge. He wants to find his son, get him back. So, with Frey's help and resources, uh, Jinx and Frey offer, because let's say that Jinx wants to, Jinx owes Ty a huge favor. Maybe Frey jokingly said, and I'm picturing they're all three of them are sitting in just in the corner talking while there's loud music and neon lights and people are chatting, party music, everything, steam like all the crazy club atmosphere is happening at the same time. All senses are being completely blasted 150%. It's just so damn loud. But uh, now Jinx mentions currently he has someone, and that someone is going to be Kriya. Undercover infiltrating the triads. That's where we rolled earlier for the disadvantage. Though it's kind of going to work for us, so we rolled it. I'm just gonna roll with it. Now they are discussing the plan, and that plan, which we already know, to protect. I think I kind of screwed myself over on this one. I'm going to say rescue. I'm going to change the protect to rescue because I kind of overlooked that concept. Rescue, which is still fine because it's on the list. They're going to rescue the kid. You can't really protect the kid when he's been captured. So they failed at, if that was part of the earlier mission, they failed at that. But they don't know. They don't know of these experiments being done on the kid, so on Vakel. Now, what my idea is to blend Cyberpunk into Blade Runner is that they're, because of psychosis. I know about that and the whole, they go crazy if you go too cybernetic. I think it's called psychosis. Correct me again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that you can go crazy if you too many cybernetics. You lose your humanity. It's just a crazy snap. So they're trying to experiment, and take this random kid they kidnapped in the slums, just out of for an experiment to convert him to a fully cybernetic being, and that it would be a Nexus model. So that's what I was thinking, is taking the Nexus models who are in Blade Runner, but making this kid cybernetic to solve Triad's problem with psychosis. They think that if they can make this kid cybernetic, then they'll figure out a solution to the Triad, to the psychosis issue that perhaps is plaguing their gang. So this is more of a footnote. Triads. That could have been a twist in the end, I just realized, but um, it explains why he's cybernetic. Because we already know about that spoiler from, yeah, cybernetically enhanced kid. Though I like the sentient AI thing too. Too late now. So cybernetic next. Triads are trying. Now let's figure out if they've been struggling to do so. How long have they had the kid? Let's say how long has it been kidnapped for? Let's roll D4, or let's say for weeks, 2 weeks. Okay. The kid's been the Kel's been missing slash kidnapped for 2 weeks, and then triads have they been? Let's see. Let's use my oracle. Have they been able to do so? They have. My God. So they have been able to make the kid a complete, like a complete what do you call it? Nexus model. So at this point, it's been 2 weeks. They've somehow achieved the possibility of making. I know there's the character Atom Smasher in Cyberpunk, so I'm going to use that as a reference. They basically made this kid a killing machine, like Atom Smasher. That's what I'm going to do. They triads made Raquel similar to the Atom Smasher. And that could be a huge twist for our characters to notice at the end. They don't know this. It's been 2 weeks. With the advancement of technology in the future, I think that's probably plausible. So, will the Atom Smasher be in this lore? I don't know. Thinking about it. I wrote it down. Okay, so that's all they know. They don't. They've only been able to, because of Kriya, she's already only been able to find his location, thus passing that information to uh, Frey. So let's say triads have a lot of security measures in place for anybody to communicate with the outside. So Frey had to meet with Frey in old school methods of just telling him in person. So some time ago, let's say earlier that day, earlier that day, um, Frey Frey uh, informed either Jinx, because now I'm kind of stepping on my own feet here, because we have a hacker who hacked. Where did I write that? Um, where's my hacker? Frey is my hacker. So Frey hacked Triad database, learned of Ty's son's Raquel's location. So what is the purpose of Frey? I think Frey has already been sent to try to find him. So let's keep that moving. So I'm gonna take this out. And Jinx tells Ty, I already have someone on the inside. We think it's Triads. She's gonna try to find her son while we devise a plan to bust in there and get him back and get your son out. So Frey is already. I'm sorry, not Frey. Uh, Jinx has sent Cray already on the inside. Cray is already on the inside, attempting to find Raquel. This is definitely a one long favor. Okay, so they're gonna make a plan for how to get in to Triad, such a highly secured. Remember, this is their first. That's the setback. Um, they're new at this. So, does their plan devise something to do with perhaps faking a delivery, trying to get in there? Let's see. Does it involve a car? Perhaps. It's an idea on the table. So they're running through a bunch of ideas in their heads. Remember, they're new at this, so they're kind of their ideas are a little bit cliche. Like they're maybe a fake delivery. We go in there like Ocean's 11, like Trojan horse style. We pop out of the hood and start shooting up the place, or uh, maybe we fly over with one of our crafts and skydive onto the top of the building, shoot our way down, etc. They're throwing out all these ideas. So the group is thinking of a plan. All fairly possible, I'll say. Or not possible. All fairly dangerous. But I think that at this moment, one of these characters is going to have an epiphany. Let's roll a d4 to see who has an epiphany. Has a great idea. 2. Cray's not here. Well, Cray could still have an idea. Maybe she's on the inside. Did Cray have a huge discovery just now while they're meeting? Let's roll. Let's see. Or actually, you know what? Let's roll to the... Yeah, that was an Oracle roll. Okay, I'll keep it as is. She did not have a great idea. She had an issue. Okay. She had a small hiccup. So, back to Cray. Location. Let's say... Let's find locations on here. Let's use the location. I'm going to roll D100. Somehow let's get that converted to a cyberpunk a cyberpunk themed outcome. There it is. Okay, so we're going to roll D100. Might take a few rolls because a lot of these are outside, but not within a building. 70. Creature, event, location. A ruin. So I rolled ruin. Ruin's old, abandoned. Perhaps she found an abandoned lower level room of the Triads. So let's say she has a small hiccup. I'm trying to figure out if she got lost. Not necessarily lost, but perhaps she attracted some suspicion on her. So let's say she's in lower levels of the Triad building. Triad HQ, I'll just call it that, whatever it's called. We have and it's mainly we're working with right now Cray. She's she aroused suspicion. I overspell suspicion. She aroused suspicion, and she had to hide. Did she hide successfully? Let's figure that out. Let's say she's currently being followed. Not like she's running for her life, but she's... Because that roll, the Oracle, was only one difference of no. Let's do our first roll of the rules, which is This will be a this would have to be an interesting choice because she's trying to hide. Her character is generally 4, so she's more so a cyber. Okay, that kind of works. Let's do a cyber roll. She tries to hide, though it's not a favorable situation, so we have to stick to just 1d6. Okay, let's go for it. 4. Oh, right at it. Oh wait, actually, that is something that is good. So if you roll your number exactly, you are a true cyberpunk. You get a special insight into what's going on. Ask the GM a question. That's us. It's also, I think it's also a success. But yes, she's able to hide. So we rolled a 4. We'll put little parentheses here. She hides. Let's say, where did she's in the older parts, the lower levels. We already rolled that. Where does she hide? Let's see. She hides in a 55, which is going to be the pit. Bathroom. Pit. Well, perhaps it's like a. It's a. Oh, it's a. It like from Star Wars, that garbage dispenser area that the squishes. Maybe she's in a dispensary of sorts. She's in a garbage disposal room. She's in the garbage. She's probably in a trash room. Let's just say she hides in the trash room. I'm not really sure what else to call it. But the pit, I'm thinking like, it's crap everywhere. She's hiding there. And she smells it's terrible. So she's going to try her device perhaps when she's panicking. Let's see, how is she as a character? Former soldier, infiltrator, net brain interface, sonic blaster, katana. She doesn't want it to arouse suspicion. She is unhinged though. I've been kind of forgetting those traits. She is unhinged. She sees all this trash everywhere, and she's thinking this might be a good distraction. But how? Okay, so she's hiding in the trash room. Let's roll to see when she's hiding. I'm gonna roll for event. I'm really curious what happens here. 98. 98 for event. War. Oh no! War. She's God dang it, that's actually really good. Not good for her, but she's a former soldier. She's looking around and she sees like disposed, as bad as it sounds, disposed body parts, like cybernetic body parts around her. She sees like a head. This room is like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what this room is. This room is a drop pit for failed experiments, like body parts. It's just the most disgusting thing you can think of. And she's freaking out. She's gagging, and she's beginning to think about her. She's having like her own psychosis, but slash like, what do you call it? It's a post-traumatic stress syndrome. She's having an episode, so she's freaking out at all the nasty. I'll just say that, the nasty around her. Now, though, we almost forgot, she rolled a 4. She's just freaking out. I don't think she's really gonna uh, run out there, like run out the room, because she's still smart enough to know that. Whoops, sorry. She's still smart enough to know that there possibly are guards out there. Now, are there guards out there? Let's roll. I think 50-50 on this one. 4-3. So they are still outside, but not completely aware. Guards or triads. Security. Let's say security. It's a corporation thing with security. Security is outside the doors, though uh, not too close by. Not too close. They're kind of down the hall. They're looking around. Um, because she's unhinged, but we did roll a 4, so she was able to escape. That was the 4, not what the result of the room was. Like, oh, the room is a buffet, and she can grab herself some food. uh, cybernetic food or something. Now we're trying to figure out is the four. The question um, is there anything useful in this room? I'm going to do because we're asking ourselves this question. I'm going to do a total roll of my Oracle method. So three goods against one bad. So six, yeah. So 10, 11, 12. Yep. So 12 to 3. There's definitely something in the room that's of value. There's something in the room that's of value. Let's figure out that there's something valuable in the room. Now, is it an object? Now, is it an object of sorts? It could be an object. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's an object, perhaps. That's a big question. Is it an object? She sees something. So while she's freaking out, gagging, and like she's just thinking about her time in war and body parts blown up everywhere, whichever war she was part of in the past. She sees something. Maybe it's not an object. Maybe it's a way out. She sees something. She sees. Let's roll. Let's see what it is. Could be anything at this point. She sees. Let's roll focus. She sees 40. 40 is going to be a focus. Food. I was right. She does see food. She's unhinged. She sees food. That is disgusting because the food is interesting. The food is quite in. Is it food for thought? Like, is it actually food, or is it a metaphor? It's not a metaphor. It's literally food. She just sees food on the ground. Maybe it's what's weird? Is somebody working here? Oh, maybe it's a lunch. Maybe it's a lunchbox. It's a neon lit up lunchbox. She sees food, a lunchbox, on a table. Now, the table, does she see like a cigarette or something lit? Like maybe someone works down here. There's nobody there. Is there someone there? Uh-oh, hold on a second. Let's roll. Is there somebody sitting at this table? There's not. 6 to 4. So that's what I rolled. There's not. So a table. There's no one there. Is there a lit cigarette? There is. 6 to 1. So cigar. Let's do more of a cigar. It's lit. So that makes her think that there's someone there. Perhaps it's an employee that works in this little room, organizes or disposes of all this, disgusting body parts, cybernetics, etc. And she's unhinged. Now let's leave it at that. Let's leave that scene alone. Let's go back to the club. So we're back to the club. And while they finally devise a plan, the team finally devised a plan, and that plan has to do with, let's figure it out. The plan is going to be, let's see, we have a couple choices here. We have trap. Let's try trap. 90 exactly. Oh, I like swim actually. I was looking at stone. Well, swim. They just realized they have a plan. They devised a plan. And the plan has to do with an access point that is not guarded. There is a river where this triad headquarters sits on the edge of. And they dump crap into the river, etc. But there's a tunnel, like not an exhaust, but like a sewage tunnel that goes under the triad building. So, let's see. I believe the best person to talk about this would be like who has the. I think that's obviously either Ty or Jinx. I think Jinx probably had patrolled there before. Jinx recalls Jinx explains from past experience. River, sewage tunnel, sewage access point under Triad HQ. He's thinking, let's go in there. Let's use one of. I can get a boat. Let's get underneath the building. We'll drill up and see what happens. So I think they all agree for that. They all agree on that because all the other ideas were absolutely pathetic. This is the most logical one, perhaps. Now, with that in mind, they need to get a boat. So they leave the club. They leave the club after agree on plan. Okay. Meanwhile, Kriya is still in that room. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Kriya, that room she's in, is it near? Here's the question we have for 4. I just realized it now. Is that disposal room near the river, near a sewage point? It's not. Okay. It's not. There's my question. I was thinking like they meet up somehow, but it's not. I rolled the oracle. So they leave the club. And now let's do this. All right. Okay, they leave the club. Now we gotta find a new location. Perhaps they're at the docks. I think, yeah, they're at the docks. Okay, they make their way. Location. Docks. They're perhaps a few miles south. Oops, ripping the page here. A few miles south of Triad headquarters. I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit because this is not supposed to be out of a long campaign. So I'm gonna try to keep this moving. Okay. They speak to a harbor manager, perhaps. Let's say they meet with another resource of Jinx's, another contact of his. So Jinx, the group / group, meets with contact. Let's say that it's a marina manager. Owns like a boat rental, etc. And the marina manager's name is, let's see. I don't really need a name for the manager. That's just the content. It's a extra. It's a minor character. So, all right, and he's going to try to persuade, perhaps, to inquire about a boat. And the marina manager is a little stubborn because he's not a cop anymore, so he doesn't really see what's in it for him. We're gonna roll to see if we can persuade. Now I think this is all 3 because we are prepared. We came here, and this is kind of a skill of Jinx's. So I think we're gonna roll 3d6 total. 3 okay, and then our number is for Jinx's 3. I believe this is more of a cyber logic of precision, not exactly improvisation, street smarts. This is cyber, so we have to roll under. Ooh, okay, we have to roll under. Well, I got 3 to roll, so we have to roll under 3. We did it! We rolled, I think, 3 or less. We have to roll a number exactly. Okay, so we are great success. So we were able to persuade the marina manager. I'm going to say the dock captain is his title. As stupid as that sounds, the dock captain, as cliche as it sounds. Okay, Jinx convinces the captain to borrow a boat. For all this times he helped him out of a pinch. Maybe he let the dock captain's behavior slide many times in the past. past the cases solved. Borrow a boat, a cyberpunk boat, has neon lights on the side, floats above the air, above the water. So they okay now they're on the boat. Okay, locale, boat, and they have to go upriver to uh, basically the triad. So while they're going upriver, let's see. While they're going upriver, okay, they're going upriver towards towards the Triad HQ. Okay. Now, because of that, do they encounter anything? There hasn't really been much happening lately as far as obstacles, since uh, Krea's little hide and go seek with the security guards from the Triad HQ. I'm thinking, trying to see the list here. Well, I'm not really a big fan of these options, but let's go to the Oracle and see. We can also ask, do they? Let's do favorable. Do they run into anyone? They do not. It's luckily a harmless situation, so nothing exactly happened. But I am going to roll for focus. 93. Focus is vengeance. Okay, so right now, vengeance. Right now on Ty's mind, Ty, he's naive. He's just like Ty is thinking of just naive ways, or no, he's thinking of ways to bust in carelessly, to bust in carelessly. And Jinx is telling him, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hold on. Let's figure this out carefully." They're getting pretty close to the Triad building. Now, while they're getting there, we roll to see if anything happens while they're on their way. Now they're close to the Triad building. Does anything happen? Okay, looks like something very minor happens. So I was doing advantage roll. So 3 to 3. Something minor happens, questionable. And what is that questionable event that happens? Let's see. What is that questionable event? Let's see. 4 questionable event is. Oh no, an ambush! I rolled ambush. Oh gosh, they were ambushed. Um, they got close to the sewage access point, but then they were ambushed. Ambushed by who? Maybe perhaps it's not exactly the gang. Uh, okay, who ambushed them? Let's see. There's creatures. Creature description. Let's see. Okay, I'll roll D100. Who ambushed them exactly? 3. Interesting. Okay. Well, location's the beach. I want to say they're ambushed by a group of. Well, I mean, who else could it be? That's the thing. No one knows about this mission except perhaps the Triad's been keeping tabs on them. They've been kind of a little sluggish. They are new at this. That does kind of make sense. So, what are the chances that this is? Is this going to be the Triads that ambushed them? Security, Triad gang. It's not. Okay, so it's not going to be the Triad gang. Okay, we gotta figure this out. Who ambushed them? Is it going to be other gangers? Maybe just some pirates. Let's say it's just some pirates, some cybernetic pirates. They ambushed by cybernetic pirates. They are they look like pirates, but they have cybernetics, and I think that's hilarious. It's a rough town. You gotta keep an eye out for cybernetic pirates. So that's hilarious. And I'm thinking of the book. I'm thinking of this book, Pirate Borg, which kind of just randomly thought about. I'm like, yeah, I might as well try that. So these pirates pull up in another hovercraft. Do they have a hovercraft? Let's pull up on. Let's hear what they pull up in. Um, I don't think there's really anything I can roll for that on this oracle I have. But yeah, let's just say they pull up in a hovercraft. They pull up, uh, blasters drawn, aimed at group, in a hovercraft. And now, our crew, they're yelling on using some kind of a PA system to turn off their craft and let them board. So they are classic pirates, but for cyberpunk. And they're saying, don't move a muscle, don't move a cybernetic arm. We're coming on there, taking what you have. Don't move at all. So, uh, pirates threaten to board. To board. I could read board. That'd be hilarious. Pirates board. But let's see what's at our arsenal right now. I think because we're all, all of our characters have cybernetics. We currently have Ty, Frey, and Jinx at disposal. And Jinx is grizzled. I think he's holding himself back, but he's going to be ready to fight. Uh, Frey is savvy, so he's not exactly a fighter, but if things come up close and personal, he could fight back with his zip shocker or his gravity hands. Ty is probably going to be the loose cannon. He's naive, but he is currently destined and, uh, attuned to keep going no matter what. So I think he's a kung fu master, so that does eat up. So Nick, Ty is quickly going to bust down his robotic arms and fire a bunch of wrist rockets uh, towards the pirates. So Ty opens fire, wrist rockets. Maybe the pirates weren't expecting this. They just thought maybe this was like a family just enjoying themselves, on the river. We haven't really rolled what time of day is, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Opens fire, wrist rockets at the pirates. At the pirates. Okay. Actually, it looks like I wrote Pilates. So he accidentally killed a bunch of, a Pilates class across the river, apparently. No, pirates. Okay. Now we have to roll. This is a punk. It's reckless. It's not precise, though. I say this is for skill. It's his equipment, but it's not a favorable situation. So it's only 2d6, and we're rolling a punk. We're rolling. If you roll using punk, you want to roll over your number. So his number is 2, so we should have a good chance. 4 fours. Okay, so 2 fours. 2 succeed. Good job. So the rockets fire out of his wrist, blasting a hole on the side of the boat. So blast, side hole on boat. Huge explosion. Okay, huge explosion causes the boat to not the boat, the craft. So the craft starts to hilariously, cartoonishly sink into the water. Boat, I keep saying boat. That's fine. Boat sinks into the water. Does any of the pirates survive? Because it wasn't like a 3 perfect success. We didn't have a chance for that. But let's say, does any of the pirates survive? Let's do 50-50 on this one. Nope. They are all dead. That explosion killed all of them. There was probably a few of them. I'd say maybe 4 or 5. So, take the water. Explosion killed all the pirates. Now, here's the problem with this. This wasn't just some random encounter. Well, it was a random encounter, but this does have, a problem because he is naive. We can't forget about that. Kung Fu Master, apparently. This has possibly garnered some attention. So I'm going to roll a 3d6 for this one. To just get the attention of anybody around. They're trying to be stealthy here. And, oh my gosh, it has not. It did not. I rolled, for advantage. I was hoping for a guess, but it did not. They got so damn lucky in that move that while the boat is they're continuing on, the boat's kind of shaking from the river, even though it's a hovercraft. Um, it did not. Nobody noticed. Basically, it's so late at night. Apparently, nobody noticed the big explosion. Maybe because everyone's just so used to it. The city's so used to violence and crime, explosions, gunfire, rockets. They're like it's just nothing. It's just another pirate ship blowing up in on the river. So nobody noticed apparently. And I'd say Jinx is looking around like he's all worried. He's kind of like looking around like all scuffled and like, wow, I was expecting somebody to notice, especially maybe my former partner would be down here, like his former cop, the police force. But no, nobody noticed. So that's a big one. I'm gonna put a star there. Nobody noticed. Okay, so they get to the after that encounter, they get to the hole, they get to the sewage, the sewage access point. So location, locale, sewage access point. Okay. And now they're getting, is the sewage access point closed off? Let's just do a basic 50-50 possibility. Like, are there gates on it or like lasers, a grid, a protective shield, anything? Oops, there goes my laser. It's not. Well, 5 to 4. Okay, there's a old school gate. There's bars, but there is a hole um, on the side, like just kind of. There's a one of the bars is broken off. So there's some. Let's see here. Some bars covering the hole, covering the point, but enough room for let's say to squeeze through. Yeah, to squeeze. Yeah, to squeeze through. Okay, good, good, good. So there's nothing to squeeze through. Now, all right, so we have to roll basically for each character to they pull up to they pull aside to the sewage point, access point. They basically pull up and they're going to try to squeeze through. So I don't know if this will require a roll, but we can try. Now they're prepared and it's possibly favorable. So let's do two. Yeah, it's a favorable situation. Nobody noticed the prior explosion, apparently, and we'll roll. So each character. So we're doing tie two. This is a cyber. This is precise a move, calculated. Apparently, it's very difficult to just squeeze through. So we have to roll. Oh, if you're using cyber, you have to roll under your number. Oh, geez, I have to get a 2. Crap, this could be bad. Okay, well, let's do it. Oh, 5-4. Dang it. Okay, tie. Group tries to squeeze through. I'm trying to figure out how to word that. Squeeze through. Okay, so tie is unable to. And we'll figure that out in a second. Let's roll next for. Maybe he's a big dude. Maybe he's my size. Ty is unable to. Okay. Let's roll for next is Frey. Frey has a good advantage on this. She's a 5. Her number's 5, and I roll under. Oh, I'm sorry. Punk. No, I got that backwards. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Cyber. This is Cyber. I'm sorry. This is Cyber. I was thinking Punk. This isn't Reckless. Cyber. But could be Punk. Intuition, improvisation, street smarts. You know what? Cyber's tech, science, logic, precision. It does require precision. It's kind of a blend of both, really. I'm going to stick with my gut and just say Cyber. I'm also teetering on Punk. I'm going to keep it as it is. We already rolled with Cyber. Okay. We have to roll under the number for Cyber, which is next is Frey. Frey has a 5. Oh my gosh. Okay, I rolled 6-6. You gotta be kidding me. God damn it. Okay. For some reason, Frey, even though she has an advantage, is unable to. There has to be a reason for this. narratively speaking, of course. Next and last but not least is Jinx. He's in the middle, 3. Um, he's prepared, favorable situation apparently. I guess so far it hasn't really been a favorable situation. He's a 3, so we have to roll under the number. Okay, here we go. Okay, one of them did. He's barely able to squeeze through. Though one dice succeeds, he barely manages the GM inflicts complication, harm, or cost. So, this is interesting. This might split the party up even more. Jinx barely squeezes through. It's really tight, apparently. Squeezes through. Now remember, they have augmentations, right? He barely squeezes through. Now, what are their augmentations? Jinx, sonic hearing, so not really anything useful here. He's a pilot driver. He can pilot a boat. Frey, hacker, bionic eyes, gravity hands. Gravity hands. That gives me an idea. They tried the simple way. Now let's try the cyberpunk way. I'm thinking first, we need 2 complications with their attempt. We have a couple things lined up here on the menu. And then for Ty, he's wrist rockets, and he already uses rocket. He has titanium knuckles, though he can punch through. So we have a couple we have some setbacks, but we also have some possible fixes. Depending on what these bars are. These bars are purely unbreakable, despite the broken one. But also, I'm thinking the first complication is Ty. He's unable to. Now, what is the problem with Ty? How come? What happened here? What is going to cause a problem? Let's roll D100, and this is going to be a couple of possibilities. 54. I'm going to do focus. 54, let's see. Intellect. A barrier. Or flood. Okay, so a barrier or flood. Or itself. Okay. There's a barrier. Maybe it's the water is going up. There's something coming. So, in the order of events that has happened, a bunch of water was coming from the sewer, and it crashed into our group. While first, we're going to reverse the order here. So it was Jinx was able to go first, then Frey and Ty tried next, but then they were hit. Jinx is standing like on a side ledge within the tunnel, so he is on a ledge in the tunnel. But there was this excrement of like just a big burst of released garbage rushing down the tunnel and then hitting Ty and Frey as they were about to squeeze through. I'd say probably Ty rolled worse. No, Frey rolled worse. So Ty just kind of couldn't, was perhaps, Frey got stuck. Ty was trying to get in, but they both hit by a wave of trash, of garbage. Not water, but garbage. It's a wave of garbage, and it hits them. They fall back. Now, do they fall into the water, like off of their craft? Let's roll. Do they fall? We'll do 50-50. Do they fall into the... Well, this could also be a roll. No, this is the complication. We gotta roll with it. Haha, very funny. Do they fall into the river? They don't. They catch themselves onto the boat. They both collapse. Ty, Frey. Oops, Frey is a Y. Fall back onto the boats. And then, because of that, it blocks the entrance temporarily. So the tunnel access point entrance is blocked by garbage. And because of that, it's temporarily just the water, they kind of have to reside, and it just goes down back into the river. I'm thinking that the Triad HQ just going to releases garbage every so often, clear the way out. Um, the complication for Jinx though is barely. He was his leg was hit by some of the garbage, so he um, has a minor injury. Perhaps what does he have? He has a minor injury. No, no, his sonic hearing. He has like super advanced hearing, and all that thumping garbage just kind of makes his ears ring sensitively. So Jinx's hearing overly sensitive to the the wave of garbage wave. Okay, so now there's a big pile of garbage, and let's see, does our character, what's his name, Ty, have any ammo left for those wrist rockets? Let's see. He doesn't. He's all out. He used the 2 or 3. So Ty is out of wrist rockets. He starts punching with his titanium knuckles, but he punches the wall of garbage. The wall of garbage. He's determined to get through and save his son. So this will have to be a roll. So it's reckless though. He's a punk, so he has a very good chance here with roll over 2. This is not favorable, and but it is skill. He doesn't have his titanium knuckles. We'll do 2. You gotta roll higher than 2, and he does. He easily breaks through the wall of garbage. Ty breaks through, and also breaks through a bar, the bar. So he fits through. Now, Jinx, because there's now more room to bust through. Not Jinx, I'm sorry, Frey has gravity hands. It's just gonna let's use gravity hands to roll to see if he can kind of just dig his way through. Also, maybe he's on another side of the boat. The tunnel's not big enough. He could fit through. Yeah, let's say he's a bigger guy and he just has to use his gravity hands. So he's gonna use gravity hands, which is a punk. Actually, there's more to cyber. So actually, let's do punk. I like that. 5. So he has to get a 6. This is gonna be tough. Okay. So he has to roll a 5 or a 6. You have to roll over your numbers. Number's 5. Okay, 5 or 6. Come on. I rolled a 5. 1, barely. Okay. Basically just saying that Frey barely gets through. Barely breaks through. Okay. Now, with 1, there is an implication with that. Once again. Okay? Then the implication is going to be a D100. 64. 64 is... Let's see. Lose. Oh, he loses something. Okay. Action was lose. He loses something. What does he lose? Lose. I like that. He loses something. Interesting. Maybe he drops something? He's a hacker? Oh, he drops his comm unit. Drops comm device. No, it falls into the river when he's trying to break through. All that punching and gravity hands is he loses his comm device. I'm gonna cross that out now. Erase it. Oh no, it's gone. He loses it. He flips out. That's like losing your phone. That's like his bread and butter for his whole purpose of being alive. So next page. But they are inside. They do get inside. So, okay. So Jinx, Ty, Frey, Jinx are now inside the tunnel. Meanwhile, okay, location. Let's go check on Cray. locate. Frey, she was in that garbage room, was in that pit. Maybe it's just called the pit. I like that. It's just the disposal room. They dump a bunch of their junk and there's an employee working there. Um, Location Frey, the pit room, we'll call that. Garbage room, basically. It's like a dump room. It's a trash room, basically, trash collecting room. Now, Frey, we gotta figure out what's been happening since that entire time that they left the club, while the other group left the club, went to the boat. Frey has made some significant progress, I'm assuming. Now, has she made significant progress? Um, let's roll. Let's roll total. I really want to advance this. 4, 5, 6 to 2. She did. She made some really good progress, and that progress is, and we'll find out what happened from her point on from the garbage room. Let's see. Let's figure out what that progress was. 39. 39. The progress was descriptor. Oh, wait. Familiar. Ah. No, you know what? A duel. She had a duel with some. She had a fight with somebody who found her, but she didn't make significant progress. So she had a duel. I rolled duel, but I also rolled familiar. Too many options. I can't look at them all. So let's just say she had a fight. Um, Frey had a fight. She did make progress. Whether it's good or bad, it's different. She had a fight. I think it's more progress in time. With was it the guy? Was it the person who worked in that garbage room? Let's see. It was the person in the garbage room. Yes, it was. Though it wasn't exactly a high roll. With the person in the room, in the garbage area, in the pits. The person that we saw the table cigar. Um, Now, was this fight very difficult? Let's say. I want to give her a chance here. Was this fight difficult? It was 5 to 4. It was not difficult, but it was a nuisance. It was fairly inconvenience. So the guy was not exactly a force to be reckoned with. So uh, she maybe killed the guy. The guy. Oh, I have an idea. Killed the guy. Dumped his body. His body. Let's see. Who's her character? She's unhinged. Perfect. Dumped his body. Maybe the river. Part of the river goes into her room, into this pit. Dumps. Well, there is no direct connection from. We really rolled that out. There's no direct connection from the pit to the river, but perhaps there's a route that this garbage leaves the building and goes into the river. Dumped his body and flushed the pile of garbage. The pile of garbage. Which caused, from earlier, the garbage to come out and hit our group. That was completely coincidental. Which relates to the wave incident, we'll call it. The wave incident from earlier. From prior. Great little connection there. So she killed the guy. That little scuffle. She used her gravity. No, I'm sorry, not Frey. I keep saying Frey. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Kriya. So happens when you got to track 4 characters by yourself. I'm gonna pay enough for this. Kriya did all this stuff by herself. She killed a guy with her Sonic Blaster, katana, sliced him in half or sliced him, whatever. His head off, pushed him to the. And she was just freaking. She was pissed off. She was still like post traumatic, like psychosis, whatever you want to call it. And she killed the guy, dumped him, and pushed the big red button that says "Flush now." Keep the area clear. And alarms went off, and the whole entire garbage pile went down into a tunnel. Door closed, and it just continued on and flushed out um, knocking out our team, part of our team. So that's where that relates to that. So now we got to figure out where she is currently in present time to really keep this going. So currently she is. Let's figure out. Let's do location. I imagine she made some headwind, some progress. Location is, and there is a guards outside. We can't forget about that. She's on a bridge somewhere. Apparently, there's a bridge. So I'm thinking that she's upstairs or she's one of the upper levels, perhaps. She found her way through. Was she able to find her way out of the garbage room without the security seeing her? Let's roll for a total. I want to keep the story moving. Yes, she was. So she was able to pass security. Um, she was. She got past security. Security. Okay, she got past security successfully. Um, and now she's on a bridge somewhere. So I think she's like, if we look at the Triad building, it's tall and square. It's a regular tower, but there's a middle opening inside. It goes all the way down, and there's bridges everywhere on each level. Think of the towering mega city. What are they called? Mega blocks, I think, from Dread, the new one, the actual 3D Dread 3D from 2009, I think, newer one or 2012, whenever it came out. My favorite one by far, recent compared to the first one in the 90s, which was campy, but still, yeah. Um, there's just these random bridges, and she's running or she's on a bridge, so she's on the upper level on a bridge. I'm thinking that she's a spy, she's an infiltrator on a bridge. Whoops, make some room there. Oh, I'm an idea. Did she pick up a disguise, like a spy, like Hitman style, like a security guard? Yes, I'll do a total here. Yes, she did. So she picked up. No, actually, I'm sorry. That's a no for advantage. Even with three, she did not pick up a security guard, outfit. She changed, perhaps. She's dressed. Oh, is she dressed as a triad? My gosh, it really doesn't want me to do that. That's the problem with doing the red. It kind of it really throws a wrench in your plans at times. So let's really Oracle and let's do person. What is she disguised as? 41 person, a fighter. Ooh, interesting. Maybe okay. She's dressed as a triad assassin. Let's say that she found a clean uh, suit, or perhaps. Oh, I know. She's like a. She has a. What is her weapons? She has a katana. So she found a. You know what? I think she's more an instructor, a fighter, instructor. Yeah, she's dressed as an instructor for like the triad. They train their soldier. They train their members for combat. She's a combat trainer. So she's dressed. I'm just trying to define how she got through security. Dressed as a instructor, combat instructor, combat instructor, combat instructor. There we go. Okay, and she's I think upper levels for some reason. What reason is that? So let's see. 80. The description 94. Skilled. Well, we know she's skilled. She found a lead. I think that's why. She used her comm and she found a lead. Perhaps she found chatter about the experiment. So here's what happened. She used her comm, picked up chatter, whether it was audible, like vocally, like word of mouth, or just um, through accident, but picked up chatter of an experiment that was underway. And she has perhaps a communication device that belongs to the triad. Does she have one of those? Let's roll. She does. She has one of the communication devices that belongs to. Let's add that to her inventory, which I don't really think we track anyways. But let's see. Triad. We'll call it Triad Comlink. Okay. Good. 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 Triad Comlink. And the comlink is able to break through the fortress, the disruptors around the building to communicate with the outside world. But of an experiment that's underway, it's like people were invited, like higher officials, and she found the tracker, or she found this device. So she's uh, on her way to this event with the information she has. Now back to our team down below. I don't think too much has passed since then. We really jumped to time uh, for Frey, but for Frey, Frey, for Kriya, sorry, but for Ty, Frey, and Jinx, Ty, Frey, and Jinx, we have to figure out where they are exactly. I see it's probably a half an hour passed since we were focused on her. So I think that she or they are most likely. Did they get through? Did they get through an access point? They did. Barely took some time. So they broke through. They broke through an access point. Let's say a pothole. Broke through a manhole. Manhole. Wow, that sounds great. Broke through a manhole. Uh, actually, let me change that. Let's say broke through a trap door to access. Ironically, is it going to be the same room that Freya was just in? Let's see. Advantage roll, not total. It is. Oh yeah, very much so. 6-1. They find themselves in the same room that Cray was. So the pit room. Now they find themselves in the pit room, and they're looking around. They're like, okay, where the hell are we? Now, luckily, um, was a former Corp Triad member, so he's like, oh, this is the pit room. I know exactly where we are. So he's going to find a portal nearby, an access portal. So I'm sorry, Frey recognizes the area. Does he see a computer anywhere, like a computer portal, like a POS to access? Let's say, does he see one? He does. Okay. I really want to push it along, so that's why I'm using three against one. Sees a portal to access, like a computer, just a little screen. Um, he's gonna hack and try to access and see if he can find anything about information on where Prey is. That won't really work. Maybe he's gonna access. He has a bionic eye. He's gonna plug his eye into. He plugs his eye into the portal. Now this will require access to security, so he can look through all the cameras, see if he can find anything. The sun, uh, Kriya. We're gonna do a roll. This is definitely cyber. Roll under a number. Phrase number is 5. Oh yeah, this is prepared. This is going to be a favorable and a skill. Okay, we got to roll under 5. We rolled perfectly. Yep. Not our number, but we rolled very good. So 3 dice is a critical success with an extra benefit. Oh, okay. I have an idea. Ooh, this will be good. Frey sees using the cameras, using the camera feeds. Sees Korea walking into blank. Let's see what we're walking into. 80. Okay, walking into 80 for location. A tower. Oh, perfect. Korea walking into the very top floor. So the tower, just top floor basically. A big giant doors open up. Um, Big doors open. It's some big spectacle. They're making this really have to be a big show. And is she with others? Like that's what I'm rolling for. She oh, total roll. Let me re-roll. I'm gonna do I gotta call it total roll to advance the narrative. Let's do total roll. Yeah. So total roll. She sees Kriya is with parentheses. Kriya is with a bunch of triad members. The music's perfect at this moment right now, by the way. And because of that, she's um what's his name? Frey is currently describing what he sees to Ty and Jinx, and Ty is like, "What? Okay, go on." The Jinx is like, "What do you get yourself into, Kriya?" And then with the extra benefit from our prior roll is that um, he, Frey picks up a detail about a big experiment, a big event scheduled. So Frey, I'm blending names together. Frey learns of a big event up in the tower. The tower is what the name of it, the tower. That's like some kind of big showroom for a product or something. And then they're like, oh crap, we gotta go up there somehow. So they're gonna try to figure out a way to find out. So he unplugs. He can't see anything inside the tower. That's all he has access to. Unplugs. Or can he? Let's try it. Let's see if he can access the camera. I'm gonna take that away. He unplugs, but Jinx tells him, wait, puts his hand on the shoulder. Is there anything more? Can you see anything inside this tower you're talking about? So he plugs back in. Now we need to roll. This is not favorable because he was rushed in to plug back in. So, but it is skilled, so it is 2 die. So this is gonna be Cyber. His number is 5. We need a 5 or lower. 4. Okay, he's able to. Good job. This is a good job. So he plugs back in and is able to access the cameras again. Unplugs, but then plugs back in. He has access to the cameras. Now let's roll for Oracle on this one. Does he have access to, there's more information like lore, world building. Does he have access to the cameras within the tower? I will do an advantage roll, not total sum. 5. He does not have access. There's a roadblock. There's a firewall implemented on the camera access to the tower. So, no access granted. Let's just say that. No access granted. Granted to tower feed. Camera's like, 1 through 60 or something. No go. No good, basically. So he sees a firewall, he unplugs, and he's let's see, how's his character? He's like, oh crap, I can't do it. There's a firewall blocking me. I can't even get in there. So Jinx is like, shit. We gotta find a way up there. And then Ty is naive, and I think he's flipping out. He's flipping the table over. He's like, God damn it! He flips out. So Ty flips out, anger, flips the table. Tell him to calm down. Now, meanwhile, let's go back to Frey, or Kriya, locale. Kriya is in the tower. So the tower is this huge spectacle with a surrounding seating like an auditorium, and there's something in the middle, encased. Looks like a prison cell, but what is going on exactly? This is from her perspective. She's walking up, and everyone is being seated. She sits down. So let's keep writing this down. Huge showroom. It's like a showing of a new car. Huge showroom. Seats, 360 view. She sits down next to some people, keeping her head down, but She sits down. Does she sit down in the front row, perhaps, or she sits down probably somewhere halfway up the middle? Let's say halfway up the row. The rows. She doesn't want to cause too much attention herself. Can she see? I think she clearly can see. Um, she sees. Let's first roll to what exactly is going on. We know who she sees. I spoiled that already. Well, actually, then it's not, but I'm pretty sure it is. She sees a descriptor, 47. Hmm. A gather. Generous? I don't know about that one. I want to reroll. I'm not sure what's generous about the situation. 5. Armed. Ooh, good. Basically, she sees a huge, uh, bulking, like, cybernetic, uh, uh, armored suit. An armored suit. And it's walking around, kind of showing. It's just kind of turning around, walking, looking at everybody, wondering what's going on. It kind of looks like not doesn't look like Atom Smasher, but it's much bigger, um, and it's looking around like what's going on. Like this thing just woke up. It's let's see, the armored suit, the armored suit. We hear in the we hear in the loudspeakers. They start introducing what's going on, the name of what they're looking at, and the name of what they're looking at is called Nexus, just inspired by Blade Runner. So clearly called Nexus. It's their new weapon of choice. New weapon of choice for the Triad. They're like, this is a new weapon of choice for the Triad. They say, weapon of choice, out loud, and people start clapping, very gentlemanlike. Ah, very impressive. They're very impressed. Nexus, it starts, but it's moving around. It's kind of unaware of what's going on, and it like pops its arm up and does a flamethrower, but its head is still kind of moving carelessly. So I think there's something going on inside, and it has a helmet on. It's Nexus is showing like weapon demonstrations against targets. Demonstrations. I actually have a better idea. Weapon demo. Like it can levitate. Like it has flight. It has shield. Um, yeah, it has shield propulsion generator. Okay, next page. And Kriya sees this, and she's trying to think of what to do. Now, she has her NetBrain interface. We haven't used that yet, so I'm thinking maybe she has a way to. Okay, let's go back to. She's just sitting down. Let's go back to our group. So Ty, Frey, and Jinx. Okay, so now they are. I don't think they have much time left, really, to well, with what's going on upstairs. But I'd say that Frey is showing them a way up, a shortcut through up to the tower. So Frey is leading shortcuts up to the tower. They use a like a service lift, like for employees. They use a service lift. Did they find some? Did they find some like uniforms or some triad uniforms in the garbage area? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's do a total roll. They did, yeah, they did indeed find some uniforms disguises. They found disguises. Found disguises to wear from the pit, though not the cleanest or the best odor, I should say, from the pit. So they're in a service elevator right now. Obviously, just themselves. They wouldn't enter with anyone else at that point, or do they? Let's say, did they enter with anyone else? Let's just do 50-50 on this one. Oh, almost. They when they got in the elevator, they saw someone walking up casually. They quickly closed the door, and it closed right on their face. And the guy was like, "What the?" So, on an elevator. Okay, wow, this is quite the time cruncher. Let's roll for D. Let's roll D100, see what happens in action. 81. Focus. Interesting. A couple of possibilities here, but too many. I'm looking at it too much. Does the elevator get up to the final floor they need to? Let's roll for advantage. Okay, it does not. Something happens. So another floor. Not a big difference between 4 and 6. They were close to the tower, but the doors opened for someone else. While let's say that, um, here, let's step back a couple steps here. Let's re-roll. Not re-roll. Let's say that Frey had plugged in into the elevator, into the lift, and was just forcing it to go all the way up. Let's do a roll for that. That's a cyber move. Frey's 5. So, yep, perfect. Yeah, roll under, right? Yeah, yeah. So Frey plugged in to the lift, and they were going up. So that roll was for her to plug in and access the lift itself. Easy, easy peasy. Plugged into the lift. Force it to tower floor. No, it's a force in quotations, because now the doors open. Couple floors down, couple floors short, I should say. Doors open, and then this is what happens next. So let's roll to see what happens. What do they encounter? An event. 54. An event for 54 is going to be another flood. Oh, a flood of people, perhaps. So, interesting. Okay, there's a flood of people. Let's just say there's a bunch of people waiting to go to the tower that are late. So a bunch of triads appear, waiting for the elevator. Or waiting for the lift. And I think it's probably the lift is just an average size elevator. Maybe there's like enough room for like 5 or 6 more people. So they have to let them through. They're playing it safe here. While Ty is really restraining himself to bust some heads. They let's say 5 or so triads enter, and then the lift continues. Lift continues up. No, just a few floors. So, a while the doors opened. Here's the question. Lift, let's say. Now, when they enter, do they see? Did Oh, this is interesting. Did Frank have time to unplug really quick when the doors open? I'm gonna say she did, but we'll do a This is reckless. We'll do a punk roll because it was just sudden. It was unexpected. No, it is a skill of hers, so we do 2. We have to roll. Punk is bad for her. Him, sorry. Roll 5 or higher. Yep. Oh no! Oh crap! This is not good. They see triads. See, Frey Frey plugged in into the lift, the lift's I/O, and they're looking at him, and he's just standing okay. And then Jinx is getting ready to grab his gun. Ty is like charging up his wrists or his knuckles. He's like crunching them like this, cybernetically, getting them ready. But let's see what the reaction is from the gang. These group of their focus is. This is interesting. There's possibilities here. Their reaction. Let's roll. Let's find a behavior. Random event encounter. Inspire. Focus. There's quite a few options here. I'm just trying to figure out the best one for this one. The behavior. Let's see here. The behavior. 78. Oh, I'm sorry. It's only it's a D10. So we'll re-roll that with D10. 8 again. Acts in self-interest. Okay. They act in their own self-interest. And their self-interest is, hey, we work for the Triad. You're some guy plugged into our computer, our elevator shaft. And I think they say, what are you doing exactly? Because Frey is wearing a uniform of the Triad. And they're asking, what are you doing? So they question what Frey is doing. And quick thinking, hopefully. This might require a cyber roll. Frey is going to say that he is a he's a repairman. He's just handling he's fixing an issue with the lift. And it's plugged in. So he's trying to convince them. Frey lies, explains he is repairing the lift. He's repairing. There we go. The lift. Okay, while he's repairing the lift, we have to roll to see if that persuasion or convincing lie works. So we have to roll under. This is cyber. This is most definitely cyber. This is logic, precision, etc. It's not favorable. It's not skill related. This is just straight up charisma. So underneath cyber, his number is 5. Okay, here we go. 4. He's able to 1 die 16. He's barely able to convince them. He barely convinces them. Though there is one implication, it says. The one implication is that so one of the tribes recognizes him. The implication is one of the triads recognizes him because he's a former triad. So the chances are pretty moderate, depending on how long he was with them and how long it's been since he left. Recognizes Frey. Okay, that is definitely a development. Meanwhile, that's definitely an end of that scene. Meanwhile, back to that's a big one. One of the triads recognizes Frey. Back to the Hall of Justice. Kriya is witnessing something monumental. The voice, the announcer's talking about how this thing's fully cybernetic, and cybernetic. Now there's gossip. Is there gossip? People talking about where they found? Because I want to say, people rumors like, oh, this thing was full robot. No, this was built. This was some kid that they used in an experiment, and then her ears perk up. So does she capture? Does she get a hint basically? She does. Yeah, she definitely catches the detail that she overhears um, a detail about the Nexus was um, used to be was basically upgraded from a human, fully upgraded from a human, like an orphan. They think it's an orphan, like an orphan, and she hears that. She realizes, doesn't she have a? No, I thought no, she doesn't have the bionic eye. Damn it! I was hoping she does, but she doesn't. She has a net brain interface though. That's definitely an interesting tool out of her exposure. She realizes the possibility, because she's there looking for um, Valkel, and they say orphan, so they say orphan, possibility, kid. She thinks that this big, bulking, like huge armored suit is the kid. I mean, who else would it be? She thinks. She's not like completely for sure, but the possibility of it. Coincidence? I think not. So, um, she's going to try to use her net brain interface to connect with the machine, with the armor, but it might be risky. So this will be really interesting. This is a 2, so it's a distance away. It's wireless, so she's going to try. She uses her net brain interface to try and wirelessly hack or connect to the Nexus for information. She's gonna try. This is very wow, this is actually really stupid. She's having second thoughts about it. It's like, yeah, but she's not really sure. She's not aware that her team is literally floors down, about to have their own obstacle set. But I think she's gonna try. So this is skill and a general roll. So this is a I don't know. This is like cyber and a punk move put together. It's reckless, but it's also cybernetic related. So tech, science, logic. But let's try cyber. She has to roll under a 4. Okay, not difficult, but we'll see. Oh my gosh, she's barely able to. Ooh, has a complication. Okay, she's able she's able to connect with the Nexus. Okay, so she's connected with the Nexus. What's the complication here? Because that's what it says. 1 die, complication, harm, cost, etc. Okay. The complication will be an event. Because 65. The event is going to be 65 market. Interesting. That doesn't. Let's see what else I have. Magnify, less, opening, object, noble, opening, less, magnify. Okay, magnify makes sense. She's going to try. Well, it magnifies what? Oh, it magnifies her presence. And it's less helpful for her. So something triggers the Nexus. Since we rolled that she connected, but the implication is she gave her presence, made her presence known to the Nexus. The Nexus triggers. This was a pretty careless move by her, but she is unhinged. That's what it says. Triggers a safety protocol and safety measure, and it's responding. It's turning around and it looks straight at It looks straight at Kriya, sorry, Kriya. Now, what does it do when it looks at her? Does it attack? Does it? Let's see. Let's roll d100. 23. It does the following action. 23. Debate. It debates. Oh, it talks to her. Oh, interesting. It's debate, not debate. Like it talks to her, communes with her. So, mentally, like mentally, the Nexus digitally communicates with her. With her, saying you have unauthorized access into my data system. So basically, unauthorized access into my system. And she thinks for a second. She pauses. Maybe the voice is like a young voice, like it's like a kid's voice. And she tries the Hail Mary and says the name Vakel. So she's in question. She responds mentally. She mentally responds, like just in her thoughts. Responds Vakel? Question mark. Now, how does the Nexus respond? I love how I'm using Nexus for the. Let's see. Respond. Descriptors. 35. Exterior. Oh, interesting. Oh, the exterior. Yeah. Nexus pauses for a moment. The Nexus helmet goes up. Like, it slides up like RoboCop when he's in battle mode. It goes up. Helmet. Head cover, helmet, etc. The head cover lifts up to reveal. Okay, here it comes. Is this going to be? We'll do a total roll. Is this going to be Vakel? Does she? She obviously recognizes me and has a picture of Vakel. Okay, here we go. It is Vakel. Very much strongly. It is Vakel. She sees Vakel. His face, like torn apart, like stitched up, and part of the machine. Vakel's face, maybe like a tear, dropping a tear, and he's looking right at Kriya, and he responds mentally, of course. Whoops, I didn't mean to put quotations there. He responds mentally. He says, "How?" Or okay, he has to speak like a robot. My name. He just says my name. My name? He says that in question form. So Kriya now realizes that they probably wiped his memory. So that's the conundrum she's in right now. My name? That's it. That's all for that scene. So locale back to the group. What has happened since then? I'm pretty sure they're in a conundrum. So the guy, oh my gosh, it's only been 2 hours. The guy recognized. So they get off the floor. Did anything bad happen? Oh, you know, let me roll this. Did anything happen? No, well, very minor. Interesting. Okay, so they reach the tower floor. The floor of the tower. They're all talking about the experiment until they saw the guy that Frey plugged in the tower. Some of them leave, but I see some of them leave. Maybe he did convince. I guess maybe he convinced some of them. Most of them leave. the triads leave the elevator, the lift. Triads leave. Uh, one remains. One remains, and it is going to be. Who is this person exactly? 89. This person of the triad is a tailor. Interesting. A tailor. The very much the person who makes the. Okay, so. All right, the one remains is a tailor, like a suit designer, like a weapons specialist, maybe just a designer of creates the suits and the wear, the clothing, the uniforms of the triad gang. So that makes sense. Tailor, and his or her name will be. Let's figure this. Let's figure this out. D10. D10 is this one. Okay. Name 0 A Abarno. A 9 Atura. Her name is Atura. So it's a female. We'll go female for that one. And she works with the triad, perhaps. But is she? What is her relation to? I think at this point, she didn't attack or yell or scream or something like, "Hey, what you?" She didn't like say traitor or "I thought you left." Her impression of us, the tension. Let's see. I have tension here. It's a D10. The tension is interesting. I can do social. Misbehave. Ooh, I like that. So, misbehave. Maybe it's a former lover of his. Um, Atora is a former, like, you know, one night stand kind of thing. Former lover of uh, of Frey. Frey gets around. Frey. Does she like hug him or something? Let's figure that out. I'm gonna say yes on this one. Likely. Does she hug him? Yep, she hugs him. She hugs him. So she's pretty innocent. She's pretty innocent in all this. She hugs him. She's like happy to see him. Happy. They catch up a little bit. It's a suitable distraction. So she talks to him for a bit while he's chatting with her. Hold on a second. While he's chatting, um, while he's chatting, uh, I'm going to say that he's like facially expressing, like facially, he's signaling the other two just to go without him. So while chatting, uh, he signals like with his hand, probably like just go signals. Now he's not really needed for the rest, I guess. So Ty and Jinx. So signals Ty plus Jinx to keep going. Okay, so Jinx. Can he do this without being noticed? Like, does she see this? Let's figure that out. Let's roll. This will be a punk move, and he is savvy, so kind of suitable, I think. Roll over. Oh crap! Roll over your number. Shoot. We got you 5. Okay. Well, here we go. Oh my gosh. Shit. Well, is it cyber? Precision? No, it's improvisation. It's yeah. So she sees him moving his hand. She sees him gesturing, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She questions it, and because he's savvy, and I think he's off the cuff, he's quick on his feet, perhaps. He says, "Sorry, I ripped one. I can hold it." So he Frey lies saying uh, he 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 farted in the elevator in the lift. He farted. Just he farted, and she's disgusted. Oh, she's like, "Oh, come on!" Like she's reacting like, "Not again." So it's familiar territory. She's disgusted. Well, let's roll to see what how she reacts to that. Maybe she's used to it and she laughs or something. Like maybe they had some kind of good relationship together in the past. And let's see, reaction would be personal. So let's roll for social on this one. 4 and misbehave. She misbehaves. Okay, she gets a little flirty. Like it doesn't really. That's awkward, I know, but she's like she thinks he's just joking. So she likes his humor. She flirts with him. Thinks he's joking. Thinks he's joking. Maybe she's used to that for him in the past. He's a kidder, that kind of thing. But that they, um, what's their names? Ty and Jinx do leave at that point. Jinx do leave. We did kind of break the rules there, but I want to just keep this moving because we failed and it gets worse. But again, I just want to keep it going. It's almost 2 hours now. I'm not expecting to go this long. That's because I journal like crazy. Um, so they keep going. They're on the level of the tower, and I say they're on the bridge. They're on the same bridge that Kree was. Now, while they're on the bridge, on the locale, so they're on the bridge now. Location. Let's say it is Jinx and Ty on the bridge. They see the doors at the distance. There's two huge doors. They're closed. Most likely, they're closed. We can roll for it. Are they closed? Yep, they're closed. No need for that roll at all. On the bridge, big doors to the tower. To the tower. Closed. Okay, they get up to they get halfway, and maybe Frey or Jinx is trying to communicate with comm device, trying to contact. Knows for guys like, oh crap, I gotta contact Kriya. So Jinx attempts to contact Kriya at this point. Kriya, while they're walking. Now, when he contacts her, does is he trying to reach her? Like, is his device connected to her wirelessly, like in her head or something, like an interface, or does she try? Is he trying to reach her com the triad com link? I'd say most likely her head because he doesn't know that she has that triad com link. Oh no, she does have a com device. I'm sorry, she does have a com device. It says right here, com device. Netgear. Yep, Kriya has that com device. I'm sorry, she does, and because of that, is the com device on silent? Like no phones in the theater. To contact Kriya's com device is on silent. This is a big one. It is shit. It's not on silent. Um, com is not silent, though not a huge difference. It slight ring, slight ringtone, slight ring. She snaps out of it, like she snaps out of communing with. So now we're inside. I'm sorry, I should have. This is kind of a halfway point. Um, location. This is going to be Frey or Kriya. We're inside the tower. There we go. Right there. There we go. Just help me figure out where I am. Slight ring, and it suddenly interrupts the mental connection she had with Vakel. Okay, Vakel. Because of that, she's like, oh shit. She's unhinged. She's like, fucking piece of shit phone. Like she's trying to find it. or not phone, comlink. She grabs the comm. I don't think like like it was very mysterious, like that the Nexus opened his head up, his visor, and is looking in the general direction. But I don't think did anybody notice that they were looking at that Nexus was looking at her. Let's say let's do 50-50 on this one. No, not really. No, everyone's like, oh, what's he doing? Like so, everyone's kind of confused what's going on. Um, she leaves, or she leaves. She rushes out, but can she rush out without being noticed? Like she's like, sorry, I gotta take this outside. Um, like it's a classic phone from our times in the future. That's hilarious. We have to do a roll for this. This is reckless punk, a D6, and her rating is a 4. So, ooh, okay, let's give it a shot. 2. Ah, damn it. Okay, so she's not able. She attempts to leave the row, but trips on someone's foot. Trips on someone. The comm goes flying out of her hands. Comm goes flying out of her hands, and she curses. She's cursing up a storm. Fucking shit. So, now with that happening, she's obviously garnering some attention from that little incident. Though, is it going to be suspicious? I don't think so. I think maybe just a clumsy accident. The triads, though, probably is just some really higher up officials. We hear an announcement over the comms say, if we can please have everybody remain quiet during the demonstration. So, a sound warning over the intercom for a noise. While she's dealing with that, back on the bridge, Jinx gets no answer. So, gets no answer so far. Gets no answer. Ty is very impatient. Ty is in front of the door, thinking he just has that intuition, like he thinks that there's something that what they're looking for. He thinks he's just assuming. I don't know. Maybe that's the feeling of being a father. Maybe he like his instinct says that he looks to Jinx and says, "My son is in this room. I can feel it." So, Ty has a suspicion that his son is behind those. Oops, I have to space for the next sentence down. Those doors. And Jinx is still fiddling with the. Jinx is still working on the comm. Okay, suddenly, does something happen? Nope, nothing happens apparently. Well, while it's still fiddling with the comm, does anybody answer the comm? I'm gonna do a roll. I'm gonna get this going. Yep, someone does answer the comm. Okay, and now I'm going to say, even though she tripped, she fell, she did eventually get the comm. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna give it that. He gets an answer. He gets an answer, but it's a whisper. A whisper. And it's Kree's voice. So she whispers that she's a little occupied in the moment, and she's rushing towards the door. So back inside, tower. Kree answers. She's occupied in the moment. Busy. Rushing towards the door. Or like briskly walking. Like power walking. Towards. I'm surprised the triads got suspicious of this. But I think that's hilarious. Towards the door. She has a disguise on, so I think she's safe for now. Towards the door. And can she open it? That's the thing. She's going to try to push on the door, like just kind of push on it. Does it open? Let's do 50-50. It does not open. The door's locked. Okay? Door is locked. She curses a little bit, and she's going to try to use the keypad. Tries keypad. Puts in some codes. Maybe she has some knowledge of codes there. Let's roll a cyber roll. This is definitely tech related. It's not a, though it is a skill of hers, I see, with infiltration as a spy. We'll give it that. But we won't give it 3. Like, it's not really a favorable situation. Okay, we have to roll under her 4. Yes, we got a 4. Oh, we got the 4 too. So that is a exact number. That's cyberpunks. Okay, with that in mind, 4. I'm gonna roll 4. She manages to gracefully open the door, and she sees, so tower, doorway, she sees Jinx and Ty right there, and they're stunned to see her. So she runs into Ty first. She doesn't know who Ty is. They're they're just standing looking at each other. But then Jinx steps from behind, sees Kree. Next page. She's Kree. So, location doorway. Sees Kree. Kree smiles. Says, Jinx. Like kind of a whisper, like whisper shout, Jinx, like that. You made it. And so they reconvene. They hug. Like, you made it. Or like, you're here. She's a little excited. She's happy to see some reinforcements. You're here. Though she's a little upset. So, so basically, Ty says, "You're Jinx?" Basically. Question. And she replies, yes. Yes. Yep. She says, yep. He must be Ty, basically. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. We rolled a 4. We need insight. We have a question for the GM, us. Is the Nexus, is Vakel, does he still have his memories? Does he still have his self-awareness of who he is? Let's roll this. Oh my gosh, he does not. His memories have been wiped clean, though small remnants. So here's a star. Okay, Vakel memory was wiped. But GM info was wiped, though a small fraction of memory of residue, small fraction of residue memory, basically. Maybe his name, his father. We don't know yet. We'll get to that in a later. This is going to be another episode. I have a feeling of if they pursue it, if they think if it's even worth going after. But she replies, "Yep." So Ty asks if she found Vakel. She takes a deep breath, puts her hands, looks around if there's anybody. Okay, so she's question mark. She's about to tell him, but does anything happen? Yep, something does happen, though very minor. And what is this little minor event? Let's say Um, an action. D10. 5. I do not know what that means. Reroll that. Actually, I'm gonna try to do another one. She sees some. Oh, here we go. D4, a D10, and a D10. So I have immersion and ambiguous event. I can roll 1 through 10, and I get 4 choices: see, hear, smell, feel, and then one through 10 for what it is for this category. So, okay, what does she do? She smells suddenly. She smells something. Oh, I have an idea. She smells something odd, though not very strong. Just a small scent. She smells something. Okay, and what is that smell going to be? I really actually don't want to roll for this, but um, she smells like leather. I rolled leather. I really don't think there's much to roll for there, but one. Yeah, I'm gonna do alcohol. She smells alcohol. She's unhinged. Remember that. She smells um something. Alcohol. Alcohol. I'm spelling that right. I really don't care. Alcohol. Okay. She turns to. Uh, she turns around. Is is Frey a drinker? Hold on a second. Is Frey a drinker? He is a drinker. Okay. She turns around and sees uh, Frey. I think they do know each other. They do casually know each other because Frey was earlier accessing the cameras, and maybe yeah, he spotted. That's right. They do know each other. So a star info. Um, it's evident that Frey knows. Yeah, Frey knows Kriya. That's evident. She sees Frey. Frey jokingly said. Frey. This is some comedy here. Frey looks to questions. Why do I smell alcohol? Alcohol. I smell alcohol. I don't know why. Alcohol. Why do I smell alcohol? Questions. Why do I smell alcohol? So, um, not Frey. I'm sorry. Frey. I always confuse these two. Frey just simply says, Frey, while he zips up his pants, while he zips up his, I know it's kind of rated R, zips up, or PG-13, zips up his pants, like adjusting his pants, says, mind your own business. Okay, I gotta pause this for a second. Okay, so sorry, I had to take a quick little break there. It's been 2+ hours since I've been sitting. Not so good for my health. Okay, so mind your own business. He says a little snarky comment. Now Ty shouts, "My son!" He shouts, "My son, have you?" And then while saying that, she covers his mouth. She covers his mouth and says, she just says she's unhinged. She says the following: "You won't like what uh, you won't like what I say." Basically, what you'll hear. You won't like what you hear, kid. Like, you won't like what you hear, kid. You won't like what you hear. And he's like, he's frustrated, flustered. He's tearing up, and he just has a feeling something has been gone terribly wrong. And this is where I'm trying to figure out if they're even worth continuing or saving, because it's like his son's lost at this point, and I feel that they didn't necessarily fail, but she pulls him off to the side because they're inside. People might leave. It's a busy area. They pull up. They all reconvene in a corner somewhere, like in the corner, in the shadows. Let's just say. Let's roll for location. Okay. 80 exactly. Location. Roll the tower. Okay, they're on the edge. They're in the corner behind the tower. They're on the same floor of the tower. How ironic. And she explains everything she experienced. So she explains everything that she dealt with, that she found, everything to them. And Ty is just absolutely destroyed as a person. He he's just straight up like torn apart. His son's been killed, or like rebuilt, reconstructed, turned into a killing machine with like no. Because then she mentions like my name, like she mentions how he responded, and he doesn't know his name. He thinks it's like they took away his memories. He's dead. They killed him, and she's trying to snap him out of it. So Ty is freaking out. He's freaking out, like emotionally. Well, emotionally. And then Kriya snaps. Not Kriya. She's not really suitable for that. Um, he he shouts, "Those bastards!" like really out loud. So he shouts, "Those bastards!" And then Jinx slaps him. Jinx slaps him, and like tells him to get a hold of yourself, calm down. He said, "Calm down," and Ty's like, "Calm down," like he's still flipping out. And Jinx tells him there's um, from what um, Kriya explains, there's not much they can do right now. Um, they can't fight an entire squadron, entire army of triads in the heart of their own building. They have to leave. They have to get out of there and figure out another plan to get their son to rescue his son somehow. Find a way to separate his son from the machine if that's truly what happened. So they they have to like, and then he says two, and then the soldier Kriya says retreat. Like she interrupts him, and he's like, right. Interrupts, and then yeah, Jinx agrees. Ty is calm, has calmed down, I guess, probably. Or Ty is he's confused, and I think Grizzled Jinx tells him another day. Basically, Jinx tells him another day. Shall I look better? Jinx tells him another day. We have to go. We have to go. So at that point, We have to go. Yep. I think he's naive, but he's not. I don't think he's stupid. He's just naive, which probably means the same thing if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, his he he grips his knuckles, or he does this with his knuckles. He clenches his um, titanium knuckles, and then you see electricity coming out of it. He's flipping pissed. So Pi is pissed off. Okay, but at that point, are they able to leave successfully? That's where I'm thinking they can, with the drinker's help. Frey, do they find a way out back to the boat? Yep, they do. Okay, so we're skipping a whole entire sequence right there because I just want to get to the freaking end. Um, so the river, the group carefully and swiftly leave the Triad HQ back on the boat, which was still there on the boat, or back to the boat. Yeah, back on the boat, and they go back downriver. So, oh my gosh, they go back down river. I think the closing shot, if this is a film, is that Jinx is obviously, um, he's obviously flying the craft, and Frey is just sitting there looking at the HQ. So here, let's revisit what's going on here. Let's describe what's going on. Jinx is steering. I should say, sorry, steering the craft. Frey is sitting back, watching his past. That's just like metaphorically watching it, like the tower. That's where he used to work. Watching his past, staring at the Triad HQ building, HQ tower, while Prey has taken some emotional connection with Ty. So Prey is sitting next to Ty, kind of comforting him. Ty is Ty is staring at his hands, clenching his fists. There we go. Okay, and that's where this entry for, I guess I'll call it, trying to think of a title for this. If I do ever continue this, because it was kind of a failure for them, but not really. It was out of their control, so it was kind of slow in the beginning. But I'm thinking Mission Tower. I'll call Cyberpunk Mission. I'm calling Mission Tower. Like that, Mission Tower. Because the whole situation is just a huge tower they got to scale. But that's it. This is I don't know, chapter 1, episode 1 of Mission Tower. It is a one shot technically. They did fail. We didn't not accomplish, but we did survive. We did get the answer that he needed. The goal was to. They've been contracted. Well, he kind of contracted himself. They have to. To rescue, they failed. They were not able to rescue. But I am going to keep this game on the side if I ever do revisit it to see if we can really continue it. But I think for this point, they were not successful in rescuing the child, who turned out to be a teenager in a giant mech suit Whether he's integrated into it or he's like inside of it, like Tony Stark is with Iron Man, we don't know really. But we saw his face and it was all kind of deformed and had stitches, so perhaps something was changed. But there we go. That's Tower Mission and our Mission Tower. And I really appreciate you guys watching along. This is my longest video, actually, 2.5 hours. Holy crap! So it's half of Titanic. But as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of 830 RPG. Have a good day.